Hello everyone and welcome to Kerbal Space Program 1.0. Yes, this is a new series I'm doing for those of you who are here because of my KSP Interstellar series, which has recently been renamed KSP Interstellar. This is 1.0, the full release of the game. Interstellar is still 0.90, so I'm going to be doing this while we wait for that to update. So, anyway, to those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you guys will enjoy. A couple things before I start this. First, I've already started this at one point, and my microphone wasn't plugged in. That's great. Two, I'm only running it at these settings right now because I'm still waiting on my computer. I can order it in 2 weeks because I don't have the money for it yet. Third, I reached 300 subscribers recently, so thank you, each and every one of you, for that. If you're new to the game, I recommend going through training and scenarios because they're going to very much help you. We're going to go ahead and start a new game, but Kerman, there's a whole bunch of new stuff in 1.0, so it's definitely worth watching a brand new series of it. If, there are people who are better at it than I am, but I'm hoping that my odd layman's terms in terms of physics and my inability to understand aerodynamics will be very entertaining for you. I'm going to allow stock vehicles, but I'm not going to do the missing crewman respawn. I'm going to keep re-entry hitting and resource abundance at 100% since I don't know how well balanced they are. I am going to turn funds and resource penalties down a little bit and funds rewards up a little bit because I'm not entirely sure how easy it is to get money, and yep, I want to overwrite that. that was my save file for when my microphone wasn't plugged in. Anyway, yep, level 0 buildings are all the same as they were before. Something that's different is that altitude and speed records are automatic. You don't have to actually take these contracts anywhere, which is great. I did not do this mission the first time. You can do this very easily, and scientific data from Kerman you could do very easily. I keep calling it Kerman, I don't know why. Anyway, it now also costs money to hire crew members, and we have female Kerbals now. Don't know which ones are female. I'm pretty sure Dottie, Tatina, Debsy, Tretha, Rarina, Jelania, and possibly Midian are all female Kerbals. But yeah, there's female Kerbals in the game. They're exactly the same as male Kerbals, except for the fact that they have a different gender. I believe the costs have been rebalanced for the upgrades as well. Like, for example, I think the level 2 building costs a little bit less here, but it costs a little bit more to do the science upgrades. They've also completely changed this. For one, it no longer costs, 60,000 to upgrade this? Because, yeah, contracts were completely... the administration building was completely broken, as I showed you before. It was very easy to spam science out of it. They also added 2 new ones. The research rights bailout, where you can trade the amount of science you have for money, and the bailout grant, where you could trade pure reputation for money. This would normally be a great thing, except there's also a game over in this game now. If you run out of reputation and you have no money, you will game over. So, you gotta be careful about that. And they've also rebalanced the strategies, thank God. They made things way too easy. Now, since we can't really upgrade anything, let's just launch our first rocket. Let's go ahead and make a very simple first rocket, because they've also completely overhauled the aerodynamics. You also get mystery gear right off the bat, which is very good. I'm gonna stick 3 of these on here, even though this third one right here is actually probably going to make me lose aerodynamic control of my craft, which is just great. Throw a parachute on there so I can live. And yeah, you don't have much to start with. You do have girders, and the only engine you have is an RT5 flea booster. You don't get a liquid-fueled engine to start, which is a big bummer, but apparently I was actually watching a video from Scott Manley, and they had to rebalance the engines because of the way they changed the aerodynamics. They also changed the atmosphere, and because of that, they had to rebalance the engines because it was the initial RT10 was enough to get you to, I think, like 10,000 or something. Anyway, what I just did with these girders was I hit X for symmetry mode, put 3 of them on, hit D to rotate them down, and hit Shift W to slowly rotate them up. That way I have something to land on, basically. So, we are just going to go ahead and name this first one the Shinx, after my lovely lady friend, Baraki XY. If she's watching this, you're welcome. You are the first spaceflight. Although, to be fair, you're not going to be the first spaceflight. You're going to be the first atmospheric flight. Anyway, turn on the SAS because we need it, and don't forget to stage properly. I always do this for my first flight. And for some reason, with my first flight, when I stage this engine, even if it's at max throttle, it doesn't stage properly. Anyway, you want to do as much science on the launch pad as you can, so let's do that. You got mystery goo from the launch pad. We get a crew report from the launch pad, and we can get an EVA report from the launch pad. See, they added new effects for when you exit the launch pad. Let's go ahead and collect that just in case we land on it and destroy it. Now, you can take the crew report out and store it back in, so that way you can put another crew report. And you'll also see they have new things. You can hit F to climb out of the cockpit, and then B to board it. It's part of the new Kerbal clambering. I don't know what it really means. So yeah, let's just go ahead and right-click on this manually, and hit Activate, and watch us go straight up like a freaking bat out of hell. Quickly do a crew report. Do the observe mystery U. And try to turn over a little bit just to get some sort of distance away, because I was too busy trying to get science. We're still going up. You can tell, I think I wasn't really paying attention to the speed, but I think we managed to hit a very good speed there. Our vertical speed is still going up. And we are stopping at 4,000 and just under 220. Let's go ahead and throw the parachute out here. And with any luck, I made it to the shores and not Kerbal Space Center, which is its own biome. I think the entire area around here, basically from here all the way over here, I think this is all Kerbal Space Center. And within Kerbal Space Center, you have the vehicle assembly building, the launch pad, the crawlway, the runway, the spaceship assembly building, the administrative building, the space, the astronaut complex, R&D, and the contracts building, mission control, and tracking station. All those are separate biomes you can do science in. So yeah, it's basically the same as before. I got all that science, so let's go ahead and hit the period key, on my keyboard at least, unless you've rebinded it, to time accelerate. Now, once you get to about 500-ish, depending on where you are, you want to kill your time acceleration, because if you've got a slightly bigger landing stage, and the parachute fires, you run the chance of your parachute being torn off if you go through it in time acceleration, which has happened to me twice, and has resulted in the death of many a brave Kerbal. And it looks like we're still going to be in Kerbal Space Center, which is a bummer. Anyway, oh geez. There we go. And we've landed. Sweet. Let's go ahead and get out and do another EVA report. Kerbin Shores, I think I already have that one. Oh, no, or was it above the Space Center? Go ahead and take it and store it and get back in it. Looks like I already got the Kerbin Shores one. Yep, KS, Kerbal Space Center. So we didn't quite get to Kerbin Shores here. Let's go ahead and get one more goo report. It does seem bored indeed. And that was our first launch. Were you expecting space in the first launch? Because that's kind of greedy. Anyway, we got 40 signs from that. Got a lot of money from that. And Jeb gained experience because we set some records. We got the scientific data from Kerbin contract that we took. We set an altitude record. We set a speed record. 2 speed records, actually. And we launched our first vehicle. So I could use that money to upgrade the launch pad, which I'll eventually do because I'm going to need it to get into orbit because I'm not good enough. We can also we can also upgrade the contracts we can take, but I'm not going to. The other contract I'm going to take is to escape the atmosphere, but I don't think I'll be able to do it before I have to leave you guys. Anyway, they've also completely overhauled the tech tree, which we'll see as the game progresses, but they have changed where quite a few things are, and they've also, as you can see, added different branches, like this miniaturization branch, some different stack separators for like miniature probes and stuff. That's a completely new branch, I believe. They moved landing over here. What else? Propulsion systems is another one where you have the small fuel tanks. That's a completely new branch. Precision propulsion is also a new branch, and they've changed this so that fuel systems and rockets that way are in different branches. That way, when you advance your rocket technology, you also don't advance your fuel technology. That's actually pretty important. And yeah, a lot of this stuff is kind of the same general area as where it was before. And they've also moved command modules to a completely different spot. So that's pretty cool. They put it near advanced exploration. and precision engineering, which is... I usually like precision engineering because it gives you the Probodobodine. And, well, where is it? I don't remember the Probodobodine giving you pro and retrograde holding, just SAS. Basic science gives you the Stay Putnik. Apparently the Probodobodine has been buffed a little bit because I don't remember it giving you pro and retrograde holding. Huh, that's new. And I'm not complaining. Anyway, we're going to grab the first two techs, which gives us our first liquid fuel engine, fuel tanks, and better boosters. And we're also going to get Engineering 101 for an inline cockpit, which we're not really going to use because, well, it's higher mass, and mass at this stage is actually pretty important. We're going to get the Science Juniors, which are good, and decouplers, which are also good. And now we have enough to get one of these, and not quite enough for all of them. And one thing you want to get is heat shields. Micro-landing strips are decent, and it's good that they put them this far. And we also get service bays, which are cool. Stability is exceptionally important. And actually getting this is important too. They're all really good, but I'm going to get this one. And as you can see, we just barely don't have enough for either of these other ones yet, but that's going to change, pretty quick actually. Did I just get a message? I did indeed get an email, so we're going to go ahead and scrap all this. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a Science Junior onto here and take off one of these goo containers, because we don't really need it anymore. We're going to add a Communitron on here, that way in case we need to send data we can. We're not going to put on radial parachutes, because we don't really, I believe, need them. We're also not going to put on a service bay yet, because I don't really plan on entering the atmosphere. We are, however, going to put landing struts on here, because they're important. We're going to put 3 of them for balancing issues. And if I can actually grab it. We should also turn on angle snap because it just makes your thing a lot more symmetrical and looks nicer. There we are. That way, this one parachute should be enough to land all of this. And we don't really need to put a heat shield on it just yet, but we are going to put a stack separator here. And this right here is a basic lander with some science on it. This right here, well, let's just say this is all it's going to be there. We're not even going to name this anything. We're just going to blob. And we're going to put Bob in there for no reason. I don't know if he's going to get experience from this. I actually highly doubt it. But, it's just to get a little extra science at the launch bay by just observing the materials bay for 7 science and then recovering the vessel. I'm not sure if that lost us money, actually. But we did get enough science to do other stuff. I actually think that gained us some money. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get general rocketry here. And we're going to this place, too. The runway. No save vessels. Oh, I have to go to the spaceplane hangar to do that. That's actually relatively easy. So let's just go ahead and create a basic spaceplane. And by spaceplane, I mean just the same exact command module as before. Where is the science on here? There we are. We're just going to go ahead and take one of these. That is in the completely wrong spot, but I don't really mind. This thing's only purpose in life is science. And yeah, he did not gain any experience from that since he did not technically fly, but that's fine. We're just here to gain some additional science, including a crew report. That's 5. It's all very important. You need to do this. So, that was 5, right? So that makes a total of 8. 8 plus 7 is 5.5. 15.5, rather. Ah, Kerbal Shores, that's what it counts as. Oh, Jesus. Well, Jeb, you just clambered for your first time. And now I can't get back because I don't have a ladder. Can I? Oh. If I was quick enough, I could have done that. Your job is dangerous enough. Get it. No. I can do this. I'm not quitting until I do this. Okay, so grab it. Grab it. Climb. There we are. Got it. Woo. I really did not want to have to manually retrieve that. And we have 18 science, which is literally just enough to get stability. Oh yeah! Now that, right there, is some efficiency. And now we have all of these techs that we can't get. But we do have all the techs that we need to be able to hopefully break the atmosphere. Matter of fact, I can do it. I really can. I just need to upgrade the, I don't even think I really need to upgrade this, but I'm going to, because I like to make my rockets a tiny bit heavy. So yeah, I plan on breaking atmosphere now. And the only hope I have is that I've broken the atmosphere before. It resulted in a death. So we're going to go ahead and just put on standard stuff here. And, yeah, we're going to make this as standard as possible, with the sole exception that there's going to be a heat shield on here. There it is. Now, hopefully this thing won't flip over once it hits atmosphere, because if it does, I'm screwed. Well, hopefully we won't actually have enough atmosphere to hit for it to be an issue. Because I don't plan on having this thing go very far. Pretty much it's going to have... Yeah, I don't really need that much, actually. I'm just going to have these two with the swivel liquid engine, not the Reliant, because I want to be able to turn it. And then, do I have decouplers? Yes, I do. We're going to put 3 of those on. Put 3 of the hammers, which are the RT-10s that we have come to know and love. Put these on the same stage, even though I don't really need them to be on the same stage. Now we're going to put 3 winglets on here. That way I can turn. And 3 nose cones. That way they can break through the air pretty quick. And that's 22 parts. And it says we have unused monopropellant, but I don't really care about that. Alright, and we are going to name this... I want to name it the Javelin, but I want that to be the one that actually bursts through the atmosphere. So what we're going to name this is the Throwing Stick. Wonderful creative name. You guys should totally subscribe to me for that creative name. Shameless plug is shameless. We're going to have Jeb do this again, because I trust him implicitly. Now, I'm not even going to turn on this engine. We are just going to go! We're going to increase the throttle on this engine just a little bit in case I want to turn. Let's go ahead and try to just push through the air a little bit. We are going pretty fast, actually. Okay, get rid of those. Oh, jeez, we are doing things. There we are. What happened there was that when I decoupled, my stuff did not, well, let's just say I spun slightly, so that way I pushed myself out of the airstream a little bit, and the airstream decided it'd be a very, 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 very good idea to push the nose of my plane down. Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright, now let's see, how far did we get? 60,000. It's almost breaking the atmosphere, not quite, though. I probably could break the atmosphere if I really had a mind to. Let's go ahead and save that, and I'm going to go ahead and save the mystery goo. Since we're not actually going to get to space, I might as well observe the materials bay. I did not put landing gear on this. That is a severe error in judgment on my part, and will result in the science on this thing being completely borked. I has a smirked, because I can't EVA to take that stuff out. I was very smirked about this situation. Let's, upper atmosphere, okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to time accelerate to the highest point in the orbit, and once we start going down, which should be at around 57,000 or so. Oh, no, am I actually going to get to 60? Yes, I am, actually. And there we are, we're starting to go down now. And now we can experience our first taste of re-entry. It doesn't really matter, since these are going to get destroyed anyway once I land, because this Science Junior and the 2 mystery goo containers are just heavy enough to get destroyed. Well, with any luck, the heat shield will take all of the damage and leave the experiments intact. You want to point retrograde here. It's actually very important that you do this, because if you don't point retrograde, then the heat will start to dissipate away from the heat shield and toward your cockpit, and that's something you do not want. I should have put a service bay on here, actually, because then I could have put the mystery goo inside there and it wouldn't yank on the atmosphere. And here comes the part where we wait. So you don't really need to worry about pointing retrograde until you get to the point in the atmosphere at around 30 or so thousand when reheating. You can hear the wind now actually starting to hit. That's the atmosphere being blown around. We should be fine considering we're entering the atmosphere at less than 100,000 meters per second. And there's re-entry effects. And the mystery goo is probably going to get destroyed, honestly. You can see the heat shield starting to heat up because we're going as straight down as possible, trying to... No! Ah, the parachute flipped me back over. Whew. See, that's the reason why you don't want the mystery goo containers on the side there. If I had been going from actually out of orbit down into Kerbin, I would have flipped over. It would have been impossible for me to flip back over. The parachute would have disintegrated when I tried to launch it to stabilize myself, and the cockpit would have exploded due to overheating. So, that's what's called a bad time, and I could have had a very bad time. So the next time you plan on going out into the atmosphere, throw on a service bay here, and put the mystery goo inside it so that you're at least slightly aerodynamic. I'm gonna have this thing, I didn't want to change the minimum pressure. I don't even know what changing the minimum pressure does. There. Go with that altitude. Give me more time to slow down, hopefully. And we're going to time warp until we are back on the surface, because this episode has gone on very long. I'm just really hoping that the science is not destroyed the instant I touch down, because that would be very annoying. The only science I would get is for the crew report from the atmosphere, crew report from being splashed down, and an EVA report from being splashed down. But on the plus side, it looks like we set like 11 records. And that one. Actually, we are about to parachute up. There we are. Apparently we're about 50 feet above sea level. Let's see what we did. We set a distance record, another distance record, another distance record, another distance record, an altitude record, an altitude record, a distance record, a speed record, an altitude record, an altitude record, and a speed record. That's a lot of records. And I can sleep very well tonight knowing that I have at least earned a crap buttload of money. And hopefully the science. I really hope this heat shield is the thing that takes all the damage and not, my experiments. But splashing down is, we're going at about 6.5 meters per second. I don't think that the science bay was designed for that type of pressure. Well, it doesn't really matter. The landing legs wouldn't have helped me much in this situation anyway. Alright, let's see if one parachute is enough for the heat shield, 2 mystery goo containers, and this. If I had added a service bay on here, I think I would have needed to add radial parachutes as well. And we are about to hit. Come on, hit. Oh, yes, it lived. It lived! Who's awesome? I'm awesome. Not really, but still. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh! I'm going to take that data, take an EVA report, store all this data. Can I do a crew report from out here? No, I think I need the scientist to do the crew report from out here. And let's go ahead and do the crew reports in Kerbal waters. And let's have Jeb get out and take a little swim, shall I? EVA report from the Kerbal waters. And let's go ahead and grab back on and recover this vessel. We almost made it to space, but not this time. We also earned just enough science. We also earned a lot of money, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this so that Kerbals can go on EVA and atmosphere. That way when I take experiments up, I can jettison them. That's very important, actually. I'd like to be able to upgrade this as well. Because with upgrading this, it would give me flight planning, and that's actually pretty damn useful. I don't really think I can upgrade that right now. Can I upgrade the vehicle assembly building? I could, but it would be prohibitively expensive. Okay, so I have one choice here, and one choice alone. I could get the Terrier liquid fuel engine. That's very good for obtaining orbit, as well as the bigger fuel tank. Important. Struts and stability stabilizers are very good. This is all stuff for jet engines. I don't really want that right now. Flight control for the inline reaction wheels, very good. Or basic science for batteries and thermometers. I think I'm going to go with basic science followed by advanced rocketry, because I think I can get into space. I believe I can! Now with this upgraded, I think I don't really need to upgrade this, because I only have 2 contracts to take right now, and that's breaking the atmosphere and orbiting. Both of which I could do, more than likely. Let me just check the parts I have before I let you go. And the engines. Yeah, with the back thumpers, I can do it. I'd prefer to have the Terrier liquid fuel engine to actually obtain orbit, though. But I could break atmosphere. Very easily, actually. I'm probably going to go with the fundraising campaign, honestly. I can't go above 25% right now, but I can burn a decent chunk of my reputation that I have. I could also technically do the unpaid research program, but I can't do more than one strategy right now. So, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Make sure to leave me a comment, guys. In the next episode, we are going to break atmosphere and hopefully orbit as well, and land and not die. Ah, geez. I could also technically hire Kerbals, actually. I really could do that. We have 2 pilots. I would like 2 engineers and 2 scientists, but it's not really that important right now, because, honestly, these guys are good enough as is. Once I break through the atmosphere and orbit, I'm going to start getting missions to test various things, which I will use Bill and Bob to get them some cheapy experience, and yeah, we're going to see where the science takes us in the next episode. I'll see you guys then.